Hey, I'm Adam.
I'm Brian.
Back with another episode of Buds and Suds.
So it's Jackie O, so you know what this means. Another beer from Sammy.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you, Sammy. So this one is double barrel oil of Aphrodite. And so oil of Aphrodite is with walnuts, and this one's with black walnuts. And it's double barrel, so it's bourbon and brandy barrel.
Yeah.
And it's also brewed with Belgian candy syrup. So we should be able to get some really deep sweetness from that.
Absolutely.
So it is 13.5%. You know we love Jackie O's. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So deep, dark color, but a little brown around the edges, and there is no head on that, but it holds the glass at 13.5%.
Yeah, and I can get what I smell is walnuts from here. I mean, that's...
Yeah. I mean, when I was doing the pour, I thought the same thing. I was like, nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of nuts in my face, you know?
Yeah. It's, you know, all right, I'm not...
You didn't bite.
Well,
You didn't bite on the nut,
there
Tom.
may be kids watching. This isn't just for adults. There may be kids watching.
But yeah, it just has that nut. And it almost, I mean, you drink enough Jackie O's, you kind of get that smell, that stout smell. I mean, they have, you
It's
just know
a
what
very
their stout
similar
smells.
smell. Yeah, exactly.
Get a little booze behind it there.
It's...
Ooh, actually more booze.
I was going to say,
Decent
I
amount of
get a
booze
decent
there.
amount of booze.
Yeah, ooh.
It's pretty boozy.
Yeah.
But it smells like...
Tons of, I mean, I get tons of barrel, I mean, it's just bourbon and brandy. I get both.
Can you tell it's brandy? I get barrel, but...
I mean, there is tons of booze in
Don't
there.
dig too deep.
I'll pass out. No, just tons of booze, but...
I get barrel. It's hard for me to know if it's brandy though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just, I get this bourbon, or I get this whiskey, but I'm not sure I would say brandy.
Maybe the candy syrup. So maybe the brandy barrel, which you normally think of as a sweeter booziness, maybe I'm attributing that to the candy, but maybe that's the brandy. I don't know. All right. We're
Cheers.
pontificating too much.
Cheers. Yeah. No, that's really nice.
So I think it's got a pretty decent nuttiness to it. We just recently had a Whoop Stout 3.0, and it was nutty like this.
Yeah.
I don't get as much of the barrel character as I expected from the flavor.
No, I don't either. I'm taking a real small sip where I was taking a huge whiff. But I do get this kind of, yeah, definitely this nuttiness to it. It has that classic Jackie O's thinness and that flavor.
Yeah.
It's so a lot of, it doesn't have like, I guess I can say what it's not. So it's not this big rich chocolate stout, right? It's not that.
Okay.
But it's also not like a big bitter stout either.
Right. And it's not a Russian Imperial. It doesn't
No.
taste like
Okay,
a
so
Russian
it's
Imperial.
more like almost, I know what I'm thinking. It's more like almost an old ale. Like if you kind of, it's almost not even in that stout category for me. It's almost like this, I mean, high ABV, sweet, like an old ale or a Scotch ale, something like that in that category for me.
Yeah, I can kind of get that, but I think that to me that must come from because not all I don't think the Jackie O's typically has that to me. So it must be the bourbon and brandy barrels kind of give it that sweetness that makes us think old ale, English barley wine. Not
that I'm saying this is the same level, I mean, but this is a good beer. But you know how like a lot of people in their post for Bourbon County Reserva talked about old ale, like this old ale, this sweet old ale. That kind of it almost to me doesn't have that roastiness of a stout. Doesn't have that richness, roasted chocolate. I get kind of just this sweet caramel toffee, like things that I would say more with. I think that's what threw me at first. Like I don't get like your stout body. I get more of this old ale, this caramel toffee sweetness to it and nuttiness as well.
Now some of that comes from Belgian candy syrup, probably.
Absolutely.
Because when you're brewing with that, I mean, depending on which burnt level you go with, I mean, it can be more of a barley wine type flavor, or it can be just a tiny bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
So it could be from that, but it could also be that we're getting sweetness from the brandy barrel too.
Absolutely. I love it. It's just I was kind of thrown at first trying to decide like how to describe this because we've done a couple stouts, or we've done a stout, and we've done a lot of stouts, but we did a stout tonight. It just didn't have that same stout quality to me.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's but it's very good. I love the flavor on this. As in all Jackie O's, I've been a big fan of their brewery. It's wonderful. It's just a little different than your typical stout.
I'm kind of stuck with where to review it though, because as a barrel aged stout, I want it to be better. I want it to be, I want to get more bourbon character, more brandy character. And more malt. So from that standpoint, I'd almost want to give it a 4.25. But if you just ignore what it is and think, well, as a beer, do I like this, and how does it taste? I get the walnuts. I don't know if I would have said it was walnuts.
No,
but
it's
I get
nuttiness
from it, and I get some sweet candy, something in it, whether it be the brandy or the Belgian candy, which I really like. So that to me almost bumps it up to a 4.5, just because I think it adds to it.
That's where I'm at. I'm at a 4.5. I like the sweetness. I like that toffee. I like the caramel. I mean, these are words we're using, old ales, barley wines, that kind of flavor. So, but I mean, even the look of that, having that brown around the edge, I don't know if that's coming off on the camera or not, but everything about this is screaming those type of qualities. And it's really good. If you specifically went in like, I want a rich, chocolate or roasty stout, this isn't going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a good beer. It's like you said, it's Belgian candy sweet. It definitely has those characters of the barrel, the bourbon, the brandy. I like it, so I'm gonna go 4.5.
I'm gonna go 4.5 also. But if you want to know what this beer tastes like before you taste it, I would say think of it as almost a cuvée of an old ale and a stout, not a Russian Imperial stout, not something super roasty, but just a barrel-aged stout and an old ale. And I think that you would probably get kind of the flavor, which is really good. I'm going to go 4.5.
Yep, me too. Anything else? As always, guys, if you have the beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.
It's different.